you still remember what your first language was? Or the first time you speak a single word? At a young age, primary caregivers are the ones who usually teach children how to speak. But why do we even need language, or why is it necessary for us human beings? Language is one of the most important aspects that a human person needs because it is essential to every aspect and interaction in everyone's life. It is also defined as an exclusive human property. It is a means through which people can express their knowledge, beliefs, opinions, wishes, threats, commands, thanks, promises, declaration, feelings, etc. It can influence people's social behavior, like change of attitude, social perception, personal identity, social interaction, intergroup bias and stereotyping, attribution, and so on. Have you ever wondered why Filipino speakers behave differently from English speakers? Yes, culture difference is one factor, but in 1940, German linguistic scientists discovered linguistic relativity, a claim that pronounced language's effect on behavior. It claimed that the semantics of a language influence the thinking and perceptions of an individual. The principle explained that the language points towards the ways with which an individual will observe an object, affecting as well their opinions towards it. This is further pointed out by detailing out several characteristics of grammar, such that grammar would often put emphasis on certain types of words more than others. And as such, this emphasis guides the point of view with which the speaker forms ideas. Therefore, speakers of different languages think and behave differently. Also, in Sapir-Whorf linguistic relativity, it is said that it is one of the most talked about when it comes to the topic of using one or two languages or being more dominant in using an uncommon language. It studies about the way a person tends to act while using a distinct language different from the languages of those in his environment. It is also connected with culture and how it varies from family to another family, how they perceive, think, and act about the world, and how it influences them and the people that surround them. It is also referred to as the linguistic determinism and linguistic relativism, showing that the theory is connected to how people view the universe and how this carries with their own language. Many believe that by using a different language, a person's view can lead to some misunderstandings when they communicate with other people, and discrepancies in how they experience things and their thoughts. This is what they call the Whorf-Sapir hypothesis, saying that when a person uses one's native language, his perceptions are far from how others would have perceived the universe in their own language, because the semantics and ideas of each language varies from one another. Here, in the Philippines, language is characterized by its diversity. Colonialism has heavily influenced the Filipinos' language and culture. During the American colonialization period, English was used as the medium of instruction in education, causing a language shift that will continue towards an entire century. Through the English language, the Western culture found its way into the country, slowly replacing the previous indigenous beliefs and ways. Learners became more aware of fruits like grapes and apples rather than the local guyabano and atis. English use has spread and is today not only used for education but for media, religion, government, and business as well. Despite foreign influences, the Filipino language continues to exist as the language that Filipinos use to converse with each other. Several aspects of Filipino language and culture are still present. One notable example would be the Filipino core value of pakikipagkapwa, defined as the sensitivity and regard for others, respect and concern, helping out, understanding, and making up for others' limitations, rapport and acceptance, and comradeship. However, at present society, more and more Filipino youth learn English as their first language. This is particularly observable within the members of the higher social class. Undeniably, this is due to the fact that English has developed to become a lingua franca, a way of communication between nations with different languages. The existence of a Philippine English, a unique brand of English that has been formed by the speakers of the language in the nation, continues to make itself more known, particularly in the generations of youth. This is the English that has been taught to them by parents who are both non-native English speakers and therefore creating an English place in a context that is local. Beginning with the discovery of the linguistic relativity theory since the 1940s, it has always been held that the semantics involved in one's language may influence the thoughts and perceptions of a person. In the book Words Can Change Your Brain, Dr. Newberg and Waldman had discovered that literally a single word can influence the expressions of genes responsible for emotional and physical stress. The studies have shown that words of kindness, such as peace and love, strengthen the frontal lobes, which 9 are the aspects of the brain committed to taking action. At the same time, a negative thought increases activity in the amygdala or the brain center for fear. Language has a withstanding influence of the social behavior of people. Language affects pro-social behavior as well, defined as values such as sharing, helping, and cooperating with others. The use of language-related activities in developing pro-social behavior encourages the child to create a better understanding of the viewpoints of others and develops a desire to perform in caring and helpful behavior towards peers. Researchers evidences this, showing that the use of words also causes several processes in the human brain, such that positive words induces positive actions, while negative words induces fear. Moreover, language has an impact and influence on prosocial behavior development. For instance, language abilities can engage with prosocial behavior to facilitate and build social skills through increased conversations, better understanding and interpretation of verbal cues, and increased interactions with others. Additionally, it increases the opportunities to have a better understanding of the perspective of others. Creating meaningful exchanges, express one's own needs, and consequently may increase the desire to engage in helpful and caring behavior towards. Prosocial behavior establishing expectation is also important in the development of prosocial behavior in children. For example, telling a child to be polite are essential and also necessary to create courtesy in children. However, it must be noted that prosocial behavior must be expected from children and never forced. This study is an actual research that was conducted last 2017 by senior high students where they observed the prosocial behavior of grade 4 students based on their first language. In conclusion, the researchers have found that the students who use Filipino as their first language, they discovered that they exhibited prosocial concepts found within the language. This included pakiramdam, a shared inner perception of other individuals. The children exhibited this through their pagiging malambing or affectionate tendencies. Certain national beliefs had also been portrayed by the children, particularly with their easygoing work ethics. Furthermore, the children had an enlarged sense of national heroism, which goes by the Filipino term bayanihan. They also exhibited largely known Asian values such as paggalang and filial piety. As for the students who use English as their first language, the group demonstrated practicality and efficiency in working towards the goal. They were also very competitive towards the completion of the project. Another value of the English language that they exhibited was privacy. Although sweet and kind in the manner of speaking, the children had an independent air among themselves, and some chose to withhold from participating too actively in the group. The necessity for hard work into building an American nation from the vast wilderness was the historical basis of these values. This may also explain the children's social aggression. Filipinos were usually influenced by the Filipino culture, therefore showing the characteristics of being respectful, playful, helpful, and affectionate towards other people regardless how old they are. Moreover, they also have the happy-go-lucky characteristics. However, they found it difficult to pay attention and to focus when it comes to activities. Based on the findings, the people who are English speakers were well organized, follow instructions, focus on the given task, and lastly, had their own personal value of independence. On the other hand, these children appeared to be aggressive not because of the language factor, but because of English acting as a social stratifier. Therefore, the language we speak affects our behavior, and so a person's first language matters. Thank you for listening to my talk. Have a good day.